So you find out your ex is dating someone new and your world collapses. Your chest tightens, your brain starts racing, lots of intense feelings come up. For many people, this is a defining moment in the ending of the relationship. And here's the part where most people get wrong. It's not their dating that's hurting you. It's what their dating activates inside of you. So let me explain. I want you to imagine something. A relationship is like a bridge. You're one structure on one side of the river, they're a structure on the other side. And the relationship was the bridge connecting you. When the relationship ended, the bridge collapsed. So both structures are still standing. But when they start dating someone new, it feels like they've built another bridge and you're still standing in the rubble of the first one. So here's Shauna explaining her situation.
The divorce was final by that point, but I had just found out that he was already seeing somebody. And the day after he signed the papers to start the divorce process, he was already on dating sites and he found somebody and he didn't tell me. And so he was already pretty much a pretty solid relationship by that point when I found out. And so that's why the anger was so bad.
For Shauna, that's when the spiral started. And that's how it starts for a lot of people. So here's what happens. It starts in your head with lots of questions like, did I matter? Was I enough? How are they already moving on? Am I that replaceable? Did this relationship really matter? And here's what's actually happening. These questions are what I call the unanswerable questions. And here's why. Even if you and I went through the questions that you have and answered them, your brain will keep asking them, even though you have the answers. So what I'd like to say is the answer to the question is not the solution. So let's get underneath the questions. First, there are what are called internal amplifiers that determine how intense this feels to you. So if you have abandonment wounds, it feels like proof that people leave. If you struggle with insecurity, it feels like confirmation you weren't enough. If you are codependent, then their relationship feels like they took your identity with them. And if you still had hope, their dating collapses the last illusion that maybe this could work out. Maybe it's that you fear being alone. Now the future feels terrifying. And if you're still grieving, this creates a brand new wave of grief. But notice something. All of that is happening inside of you. Their behavior is just the trigger. This is why two people can experience the same event completely differently. One sees their ex dating and shrugs. Another person sees it and spirals for days, weeks, or even years. The difference is not the event. It's what's unfinished internally. Now let's walk through this in the order healing actually happens. In our work, we call it RIFT, relationships, identity, feelings, thinking. But we start at the bottom and work our way up. So first, let's look at thinking. When you find out that your ex is dating, your thoughts go wild, right? They're happier. They replaced me. This proves something about me. And that's just guessing. That's comparison. That's personalization. So this is what I want you to remember. Dating fast does not equal healed. More likely, it means distraction, avoidance, fear of being alone. Or maybe they're ready. But in my experience, it rarely means that. And yet, this is the option that most people lock onto. But your brain doesn't know that. So, step one is separating fact from story. Fact is they're dating. Story is I didn't matter. Those are not the same thing. Now, the next stage is the feelings. Underneath the thoughts is often grief and anger. So, let's start with grief. Grief is about the past, it's also about the future you imagined. Grief is about the finality, and sometimes there's anger, jealousy, shame, loneliness. The goal here is not suppression, it's processing. And if you skip this part, you carry it into the next relationship. This is the part that most people need. When you actually have grieved the ending of the relationship, you are indifferent to your ex. Why? Because you've let them go and the relationship go. So anger is the hurt they cause you. So healing the hurt gives you peace. And peace sets you free. Here's Wendy explaining her experience from learning what happened to actually working through the intense feelings in weeks.
The day after my son's wedding, he just dropped a bomb that he had been seeing somebody the whole time. So I was pretty hysterical the first time I think I talked to you. And very angry. You had said I had one of the higher anger scores out of everybody that you've seen. And the anger's pretty much gone. So I still have a lot of other feelings that I'm dealing with, but the anger is gone.
People assume that it just takes time to heal. If you work on these phases, you can release the intense feelings with a few hours of hard work. Yet most people struggle for years trying to let go. We teach people tools that help them be free. You aren't broken forever. You just need to know what to do. You need proven exercises. When I did this, a simple 1-hour exercise helped me let go of 80% of my grief in an hour. I'll also explain how to do this near the end of the video. Now, let's look at the next layer, which is your identity. This is where people often turn to before dealing with the first 2 layers. So you translate your ex's behavior into a statement about your worth. If they chose somebody else, I must be deficient. No, the bridge collapsed. That doesn't mean that the structure, meaning you, are defective. So 2 people can be incompatible without either being broken. When you rebuild identity independent of the relationship, when your worth is not tied to being chosen, their dating stops threatening your foundation. And finally, the last stage is relationships. So here's the uncomfortable truth. People who move on very quickly are often bypassing the first 3 layers. Dating fast is not proof of strength. Often it's proof of avoidance. Real healing looks like standing alone for a while, becoming solid, becoming centered, becoming a whole person without needing a bridge. And here's the real indicator of whether you've let go. How destabilized are you by their choices? If their dating hijacks your nervous system, there's still work to do. That's not shame, that's just information. The goal of letting go is not indifference, it's stability. It's reaching a place where their life does not control your emotional state. Their timeline does not measure your value. Their new bridge does not shake your structure. When you get there, you don't build the next relationship out of panic, you build it from strength. And that changes everything. If this resonated with you, get an emotional recovery scorecard. We call it the self-test. It'll show you exactly where you are in this process, your thinking, your feelings, your identity, and your relationships, and what to work on next. So take 10 minutes to give yourself a plan. It's free, it's proven, it works, because healing isn't random, it's structured. And if you take the time it takes less time. Now listen to what Ryan said about the self-test.
I feel like for people that are considering it, or people that should consider it, that the ability to give you that roadmap going to help you understand that there is somewhere. It'll help you find out where you are along this process, and it will help you understand ultimately where you're going to go, even though you're going to step forward and you're going to step back.
Take care of yourself, and we'll see you soon.